I represent a very poor and deprived constituency. I know the challenges in my constituency, and I have to be speaking the voice of my people, not my personal voice. So, in fact, so far you have been with us. You all see, you all heard from them, and we have our class recording all the issues as being presented to us in the various municipal and metropolitan assemblies. So we want to urge you, the media, to always put out the truth as they are. Zoom Lion is a Ghanaian. We are all Ghanaians because it's our interest to protect every Ghanaian own business. But we are not supposed to protect when the thing is wrong. Ghanaians, one thing I have realized is that we are not much interested in solving problems. We rather want to we are quick to condemn and to destroy. Let's solve problems when the problem detected. You understand? So we have to try as much as possible and review when it is necessary to review and correct the wrongs instead of running quickly to the media, to the radio stations, and to the social media to condemn and to crucify. It is not the best. Let's learn to solve problems. This new government, and I know President Mahama's government is very committed to the cause of Ghanaians. He is bringing a change in Ghana. He's going to reset the country. So they are going to pay all the service provided.
Some of the assemblies are of the view that review and repackaging of the sanitation improvement package contract to include local implementers in the planning and monitoring process would help address many of the sanitation related issues.
So that if the service providers are well resourced, they can also deliver the equipments and other resources to waste pile up on the streets. Sometimes they also talk about financial issues. So that is what we are recommending to the government.
Environmental health charter worldwide now. It was one single environmental health officer be NIPA 700. But if you look at our population at Dancing North, it's over 56,000. And the 56,000 in ratio or in proportion to 9 staff, one person is taking more than 6,200 people in the community. So our staffing is woefully inadequate. We need a lot of people. Most of our students have completed and they are in the house. We're begging the government to recruit them. They should come. We need more hands.
The municipal is generating a lot of waste, but then the collection and management is a problem. Zoom Lion is helping with some collection. We have some containers they collect to some disposal sites, but there are still challenges because the number of waste that is generated is so much and more than the collection. So we are believing that with the committee coming here and with our recommendations made, there's going to be a better way of managing our waste.
Reacting to these concerns by the assemblies, the Business Development and Communications Manager of Zoom Lion, Eugene Amo Asamoah, said the waste management giant Zoom Lion Ghana Limited is ever ready to provide the exact services that the local assemblies need.
I think everything hinges on funding, as we've rightly seen, and then waste management again is hugely capital.
There, purporting to be coming from the YEA, that is not wholly true. What I said was that people should not panic over it because it's not going to affect the work of environmental sanitation.
When you are working and people are littering, no a task force to ensure that this thing doesn't happen. We all could remember when in those days we were having the tankers. The tankers, when you hear that tankers is coming to your house, you quickly prepare your house and make sure that it's in order. We also remember when Salifu Amankwa was at Circle. You don't just go to Circle and litter. Sanitation, wherever there's no enforcement, go to Kigali. They will tell you enforcement is there. In this country, and to appreciation of the chief of Asin Kushia, we all have been there. You see that the chief, you don't go and litter. When you litter, they will summon you to the park, just dumping. You will sweep. In the night, they will go and hide and dump. So in the morning, you go. It is not like, see, when hawkers are walking and they are littering, they will litter, let's say, something small, plastics, paper or something. But this one you see, that is dumping. People have just carried away from somewhere and come and dump on the street and then they run away. Such enforcement is not in the hands of Zoom Lion. Zoom Lion hasn't got any. We have provided our quota and service.
Serving as refuse dumping sites, a phenomenon which poses severe health risk to people living in proximity to such sites. Technology's familiarization visit to some agricultural facility, ranking member of the committee, Professor Hamza Adam bemoaned the negative impact.
Harmony, no rapport working relationship between the company and the assembly. We observed that. And for that matter, there's a need for stakeholder engagement to ensure that they put together all the players involved in the waste collection. We realize that they have an informal group also involved in the waste collection. And what we have observed is that they dump them at the landslide, the landfill sites.
General Manager of Landfills for the Jospon Group of Companies, Peter Kwe Dagadu, says IRECOP will work with the Assembly to clear all landfill sites within the municipality.
Well, the conversation has started with the Assembly. As we are aware, this has been a very interesting, there has been an interesting discussion on it this afternoon. So I believe within the next couple of months, that will materialize.
Environmental waste analyst at the Sunyani Municipal Assembly, Daniel Owusu Koko, outlined sustainable ways in dealing with the maintenance of the landfill.
Some Lion alone cannot do the work. And right now, they are even cutting down the number of containers that they are supposed to, lift. And because of that, the Assembly too have come into the scene. We are also providing the same services. And so, if they want all the waste here, then who is going to provide the extra fuel? When I get the assurance, then I also direct all my landfill sites again.
Facility managers of the Sunyani IRECOP plant show the committee some products of the recycled solid waste.
Secretary.
Yes, boss.
Patron Fakot document in Bren.
Patron Medeba. Boss, Patron. Oh, sorry, boss. Father, boss, na, a drop in name, I'm saying.
It's Unti Tontina 74 Mishanka.
Wow.
Over air for general well-being.
Sir.
Very good. And money, money, abet manum. Copy binato.
Any a crujio.
Copy binato. Ghana for say munim say medumani say metwitwa age amanfo sa ena me hia edro a ebetwitwa age me afi yare ahodro bebre na metumi agina me naso age amanfo asabe num 74 mixture ema me apomodin e supporting the immune system na ema me asomdwe
edro yi nyema apemfo abata won ma manufo ene nkoda won nimfie duwe FDA age dwede nkrato yato.
Anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath.
I'm a missy way.
The patch of Bantama.
Matthias.
Circle.
It's her smile.
The fresh breath.
Me, Jidisa, we used to Cal 360 toothpaste. Semikai.
Cal 360 toothpaste.
That's Kia. Cal 360 toothpaste. It's a gum protector.
Onim jom kasa.
Kile kosing.
Cal 360 did the one. It's cool mint. Gives me fresh breath and your confidence booster.
And you will see so feeling kika when you know Cal 360 toothpaste.
Happy smile.
Cal 360 toothpaste, anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath. Cal, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Good morning. It looks like there was a welcome before the official welcome, but then if you want to hear my voice, I'm here, your resident nurse, and thank you very much for staying. Good morning once again for joining us on Living Well. My name is Ethel Poplampo. If you're new here, you can call me your resident nurse. The footages you saw before the break are efforts being put in place to make Accra and Ghana one of the cleanest cities and countries in Africa. And here at Metro TV, we have a campaign called Tidy GH, where we throw more light on these efforts, and we also charge you at home to put in more effort in keeping your surroundings clean and more effort in just staying healthy and living well. But today we are not going to talk more about sanitation, but keep in mind to keep clean, keep your environment clean, and keep Ghana tidy. That's Tidy GH. So today we are going to talk about immunization, and we are going to talk about health promotion. The OGs of the show know this face. Linda, thank you very much for joining me. We'll be having another guest on the show who'll be joining us via phone. As and when that guest is ready to join us, I'll introduce him. But Linda, thank you very much for joining me. Let's get right into the conversation, as there has been an unofficial welcoming already. Immunization Week, we see it almost every year. But for those who don't know about it, let me not assume. For those who don't know about it, let's talk about Immunization Week. What is Immunization Week in Ghana?
Immunization Week, we mostly use 1 week or 2 weeks. And this year, we've added the health awareness about immunization. Child health services that is made freely to everyone in the health facility or the CHIPS compound by the Ghana Health Service. Yeah, so immunization is promotion week. Okay. Yeah, so when we talk about the Child Health Promotion Week, some of the activities we perform are growth monitoring, vaccination, that's the immunization, deworming, and then sharing of mosquito net to prevent malaria.
I've just realized that I'm having this conversation with you like my friend.
Yes.
Even we are friends.
Yes.
But then for those who don't know, Linda, she's Linda Akose. She's a public health nurse at Lekma Hospital. So you said during this week, you monitor growth
monitoring.
Is it the same as weighing?
Yeah, that's the weighing. And we prepare food for mothers to know how, why mothers?
No, is it only mothers who get this? I'm just joking. But let's talk about immunization and the week set apart for it, because I know that new mothers are required to come to the hospital for a certain time or even years to monitor the growth of their children, and also just make sure that these children are growing well, their weight is right, their height is right, they are eating right, as you said. But why is it important for us to settle? I don't know about now, but I know in previous years there were myths about vaccination.
Yeah.
And if you take this jab,
Yeah,
this
you-
will happen to
yes.
you. If you do this, this will
Yeah.
happen to you. With Immunization Week here, and it's been in existence for long,
Yeah.
how has it helped, or has it even helped to clear those myths?
Yeah, it has helped a lot. It has really helped a lot because let's say at first there was so much myth about immunizations, especially with the polio vaccines. Yeah, so when mothers come for the child health services, we educate the mothers the activities.
Statistics looking like right now? Do we have to be worried about any of the killer diseases?
No, we don't have to be worried about any of the killer diseases. You remember when we were kids,
Yeah.
we had the information that our parents and grandparents were giving birth to multiple children, 10, 20, 15, sort of. And the reason they were giving was the fact that we need people to support family business, fishing, farming, etc., etc. But the real truth was that when you give birth, some of them die. And so if you give birth more, some will die, some will be left to grow, to be part of the family. Now, if you have that ideology and you give birth to 20, all of them will survive. And they will be on you. Right. And the reason, one of the reasons is that now all the killer diseases that were killing us, all the killer diseases that were very serious problems to us. So now tetanus, we don't see it, chickenpox, all the disease, diphtheria and so on and so forth, we don't see them anymore because of vaccination. And so now vaccination has done a lot. It has helped in child survival. It has reduced infant mortality to a very large percentage. And in future, as we move on, we still have other conditions that are with us, that more vaccines are being developed or more programs are going to be put in place to acquire those vaccines that we may need. Just about 2 weeks, a week or two ago, the national EPI, all these things are arrangements to ensure that children are protected. Children really survive when they are born. And then we will reduce drastically the infant mortality due to vaccine-preventable diseases.
Right. I just asked Linda about the myths that were in place some years ago, and she was telling me that these myths are no longer there. But then has the immunization week or the immunization program, Ghana's immunization program, played certain roles in building trust when it comes to community engagement?
Yes, it has contributed in a large way. You know, the child vaccination week is a week that we use annually. We used to, create awareness on the importance of vaccination, how vaccines work, why we need to vaccinate our children, and so on and so forth. And even we go to the extent of talking about illness that affect children, like malaria, how people should prevent malaria, and so on and so forth. I heard Linda talking about nutrition. We talk about growth monitoring. We talk about feeding children. We talk about how children are fed, even at what age. We also talk about community owning the vaccination program. We even talk about and so on and so forth. So we've been talking, even though routinely we do this, but on the vaccination week we do this a lot, and now people are getting more understanding. You know, at first we even had the elite, the people, the so-called people who have gone to school, who thought some of these things they don't need it because they can take care of their children, they can take care of their family. Mm-hmm. Now people are coming up.
Do you think community leaders can play a role in eliminating every doubt in the minds of their people? Because as much as you say there has been major improvement, I still want to believe that, just as you mentioned, there are anti-vaccination individuals out there. Do you think community leaders can play a role in solving this issue?
Yes, they can play a very big role, and in fact, they have been playing that role. What our strategy is that we first convince the community leaders, and then they lead us in talking to the community. And we do this more during this vaccination week. We organize, we see the opinion leaders, we explain and let them know why we do what we do, why we give certain vaccinations, and then we let them owe the program.
Heart-related diseases, abdominal pain, chronic cough, high blood pressure, and many other ailments. Tortina 74, we say a proven lifesaver for your general well-being. You can get Tortina in every pharmacy close to you, but if you want to buy in bulk, you can contact Totina on 024-607. Before I go to Linda to talk about some of the challenges they face, I just want to remind you that keeping your environment clean is your duty. Don't wait for anybody to come and clean up for you, especially in this era of rains. Make sure your gutters are distilled and disposed properly, and just stay well and live well. Now, Linda, let me come to you.
One, sometimes there will be shortage of some vaccines. Let me explain, or let me put this for people to understand. Let's say with the BCG vaccine, it's in one vial. So that vial contains 20. You need to immunize 20 children with that one vial.
Right.
So let's say when you open the BCG vaccine, and then you get one child, only one child, and then you immunize that one child, meaning the 19, it's like
a
waste. But some of the mothers, when they come to child welfare clinic and you try to explain to them, they don't want to reason with you. They just want their kids to be immunized before they get back to the house. So
let me come to you. Linda's submission just brought a question to mind, because I've seen videos and pictures of health workers or nurses crossing, maybe I'm exaggerating, but crossing 7 rivers, swimming the Atlantic Ocean just to give vaccination to the people. Have there been any efforts put in place to make sure vaccinations are made easy for them?
Oh yes, there have been a lot of effort. You know, there are some communities, some districts that have riverine communities. That's communities along rivers and other things. Health staff go there to do vaccination activities.
Right.
The service and life jackets that the staff use to get to those places. There are other places where even though there are rivers, small ones, that you don't need canoe, but you need to cross. For those ones, it has been issues. That there have been issues around them because, you know, Ghana Health Service, we don't provide those infrastructures.
Right.
So we rely on the system, the local government system, to provide bridges, roads, and other things. And then if they don't do it, because we still need to go and do vaccination, sometimes there are issues. There are sometimes accidents along really not in that time.
But are there plans?
You know, when it comes to such issues, there are policies that are supposed to be made even by the ministry before the service will take on and do all of these things. Right. I don't have much information on that.
Right.
So it's better we talk less on it.
Yeah, I understand. I need to be asking organ at the top. But
yeah, vaccination.
Right.
The most important thing that I will advocate for is bringing on board the recipient of the vaccination exercise itself.
Right.
You understand? You know how they will accept it if, for example, you are sending a machine to go and vaccinate somebody's child level.
Right.
So that if they buy into it, then it comes. You know, there are a lot more challenges. Linda spoke about them, but the most challenge that affects us is a community issue. You know, sometimes the community dispute. We have sides. If you approach the community through one side of the chieftaincy, the other side will not patronize your product.
Right.
If you go to the other side too will not come, and it's difficult to bring them together. So these are some of the challenges.
Right.
But then, in talking about AI, then we need to discuss more at the lower level for them to accept. If
right.
not, the vaccine. You know, we at the lower level we are appraised by the number of people we vaccinate. Meanwhile, we will not bring the
Right.
Yeah, so these are the month, and then the vaccines, and then the dose, and the route and site of injection. So at birth, mostly at birth, the moment you go with the BCG, it gives protection against tuberculosis. So when at birth and you don't send your child for this BCG, it means your child will be prone of getting the tuberculosis virus. And then you receive your OPV.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 6 weeks. Yeah.
Just as BCG is for tuberculosis, what does the OPV?
Polio.
Okay.
For the poliomyelitis. So with the 6 weeks, you come for the 5-in-1 vaccine. That's the DPT HIP. So it comprises of DPT, the hepatitis, for pneumonia.
Okay.
Yeah. Then you take your rota vaccine. Yeah, for diarrhea. So you repeat it on 14 weeks, and then 10 weeks, and then 14 weeks. But with the 14 weeks, they've added IPV to it.
Okay.
That's the polio injection. Mostly when you give it to the children, you give it to the child. So 6 months, you take your first vitamin A. It helps the children in growth, like growing, and then prevention of diseases and illness. Then 9 months, you come in for your measles, and then yellow fever, and then the immunization service. But then they have days they usually go to each centers to go and do it.
Right. Yeah. Right. Let me remind you that Living Well is brought to you by Tortina 74. Tortina 74 is a super immune booster for good health, and it also cures heart-related diseases, abdominal pain, chronic cough, high blood pressure, and many other ailments. Tortina can be found in any pharmacy near you, but if you want to purchase in bulk, you can call Tortina on 024-607-3498 or 050-162-8931. You can also visit the website on www.dhi.com.gh. So Tina 74, we say a proven lifesaver for your general well-being. Let's take another break. When we come back, the conversation continues.
Secretary.
Yes, boss.
Patron Fakot document in bread.
Pacho Medeba. Boss, Pacho. Sorry, boss.
Unti Tontina 74 mix shanka.
Wow.
Over for general well-being.
Sir.
Very good. And money me money abet madam. Kope binato.
Any
Ajimi efi yari ahudro bebre. Na betumi ajina me naso. Ajamanfo. Asemi num Tontina 74 mixture. Emami apomodin e support immune system na emami asomdwe
a drawing nyama painful abata woma omanufo ene nkoda woni mfeduwe FDA ajeje de nkrato yato
My friends, my name is Kel Kids Toothpaste. Wow. I was made all day, and best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. Makes your teeth stronger. Chicky whiter. Chicky stronger. Yay! You did it.
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Kel Kids. Happy smile.
Thank you for staying. Now, that's an interesting fact because one thing I've learned on this show is that some of the diseases we fear the most are not even the ones we should fear. Linda and I, during the break, were just talking about HIV in children, but then looking at this fact presented to us, 1.5 million deaths annually, then we need to make sure that we do whatever we need to do, if it includes vaccination or just speaking to your health professional to see what are the options available for you to protect yourself. Living Well is brought to you by Tortina 74, and we are also reminding you that keeping your environment clean is your duty. Don't wait for someone to come to your home to tell you keep your home clean or keep your frontage clean, especially in this season of rains. Please make sure to desoil your gutters, keep your environment clean. Don't leave. If you are still there, let me come to you because I feel like Linda and I have been talking a lot, but let me come to you. Linda and I, from the beginning of the conversation, mentioned how immunization has helped. But then, are there any statistics available to show us the strides made by immunization so far in Ghana?
Oh, yes. There are a lot of statistics. Unfortunately, I don't have it with me here to mention them. But there are a lot of statistics that have shown that as we move on, vaccine preventable diseases are being reduced, especially in children. And then more children are surviving as compared to earlier on when children were dying due to vaccine preventable diseases.
Right.
Now the statistics show clearly that things are going well as far as the vaccination program is concerned. But I also want to add on to Linda's chat. Yes, there's something we call catch up. And so if at birth, at 18 months, if the children makes the vaccine, there's hope still for them to get it back.
Right.
She mentioned OPV 0. That one, within 2 weeks, it must be given. After 2 weeks, you can't give OPV again. So you get it at the 6 weeks, 10 weeks. And if the child did not get it at birth, the child still has the chance to get it within 1 year.
Right.
Within 1 year, the child will get it. The rest of the vaccines, if the child did not get it at the scheduled time, within the age of 5 years, the child can be given the vaccine. Apart from Rota, that after 34 weeks, the child cannot take Rota. But apart from that one, the rest, BCG is within 1 year, and the Rota within 34 weeks. The rest up to 5 years. If the child couldn't get it at the scheduled time, it still has the opportunity to take it there. And then where to get the vaccination? As Linda said, at the facility, point is always very close to the individual.
Right.
And so it's actually very easy to get vaccinated.
Right. Linda also mentioned that most mothers bring their children for vaccination from age 0 to 18 months, and then after 18 months they stop. But ideally, it's supposed to go until 5 years. For Linda to mention it, that means that it's very rampant. How do you think we can bridge that gap?
Already there are programs to bridge that gap, and that's what we've been doing. You know, apart from we moving to the community for vaccination or the mothers coming to the health facility for vaccination, we have a program called Home Visit, where when we are going, we take vaccines. So before we even go on the home visit, we have a register called defaulter register. So at the end of every vaccination section, we look into the register. Then we write their names in the default carrier with vaccines, and then we vaccinate them there. And then we also have school health activities. At the preschool and the KG level, when we are going for school health, we are supposed to take vaccines along to vaccinate children who have defaulted, children who did not come for their vaccination when they were due. And that one, we give prior notification to teachers so that they tell the children, the parents and caregivers to add and put the child record book into the children's bag. So when you child is vaccinated when it needs to be vaccinated.
Rightly said, Mr. Gate, because I've had the privilege of sitting in some of the vaccination plannings of the Ghana Health Service, and I must say that it's very interesting and refreshing to see how important every child getting vaccinated is a priority to the Ghana Health Service. Yeah. Let me also say that once a while, just as Linda said, there has been outbreaks, cholera, we've had meningitis, and we've seen the Ghana Health Service. The tough questions about insurance, how do we get it done right, that we don't break out into a full outbreak before they step in. That being said, it's time for aerobics. Let's take aerobics.
Hello, lovely people. Welcome to Alisa Fitness Gym Center. I'm Emmanuel Kwe, one of the gym instructors of Alisa Hotel. I'm going to take you through 3 sessions of workouts, but firstly, I want to start from the battle rope. So the battle rope serves as a compound exercise. Like it works on three parts of your body. It works on your arm. It helps you burn fat, and also keep you fit too as well. So I'm just going to demonstrate how. Let's go. So just swing your arms, swing it step by step back. And you can use your 2 hands to beat it up like this. Go forward, back, to the side, to the side. You can take it front, back. I'm just demonstrating how to use the battle rope. Just keep on swinging your arms. You can walk forward with it. If you want to join me, enjoy my exercise. It's not easy, but I'm trying to keep it cool. Just keep on swinging, up and down. I hope you can feel me. Yeah.
Clinical team dragging me for not going to the gym. I go to the gym. I'm a gym rat. Those who know, I keep fit. Don't come for me. But Linda, before we continue the debate don't come for me. I go to the gym. I work out. Please. I live what I preach. But before we go to foodish joint where we'll talk about nutrition, let's not pretend that we don't know that children have reactions to some of these vaccinations. They get a fever, they cry a lot. For a new parent or a parent who is facing this after vaccination, what should they do?
So when they come for side effects of the vaccination, example, some of the kids, there is rise in temperature. So usually we educate them to give them paracetamol syrup. That's the 2.5 ml for 3 days. Then mostly some of the kids also react. Yeah. So there will be a little bit swelling at the sides. Yeah. So we ask the mothers to apply ice block on the site, just to minimize the pain and then to have
everybody that.
It depends on how you give it.
Okay.
Yeah. So some kids, it doesn't form.
Yeah.
Some kids too, it usually forms. So it depends on
who is giving it.
Yeah, who is giving it. Yeah. So it shouldn't be deep, but then the surface of the skin.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's now time for foodish joints, and then when we come back, we'll talk about nutrition, and then we take our parting words, and then we go. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back to another episode of Living Well Health Show here on Metro TV. My name is Darryl Freeman and I'm the executive chef here at Elisa Hotel Northridge in the beautiful city of Accra. Again, we're still on the smoothie making, the healthy options. So let's start smoothing. The smoothie we're going to make today is a nice fruity one. So as mangoes is in season, we've got some beautiful mangoes. This is one extra large mango which we got from the market. Some nice juicy pineapple. This is one pineapple. 2 bananas. Again, lovely Greek yogurt with lots of protein. This is about 250 mils. And being here in Ghana, we're going to add a little bit of ginger. So let's get smoothing. So what we need to do is we need the blender. And now again, just remember you need a high-powered blender. So here we have one out here. Okay, first of all, we are going to add our yogurt to the blades because it'll blend it a lot better. Then we're going to add our ginger, our 2 teaspoons of ginger. Put it on for 30 seconds. We've got our nice jar. Okay, then what I'm going to do is finish it off on a smoothie. Again, full on a smoothie. Again, full of flavour, full of fruits. Give it a try. Mango's in season, so there's nothing stopping you now to go and get some. Again, have this for breakfast or for lunch, or even in the evening.
Staples that should be present in a child's food so that they can meet that nutritional target?
Yeah, so every child needs a healthy future, so we need to invest in it. So mostly kids need more balanced diet, more protein in growing, and then protective food to help them fight infections. And then our local foods. I would advise the mothers to avoid this canned thin food. Yeah, with that one, it doesn't add any weight to the child's growth. So the local food, banku and okra, then you can add fish powder, potato, you add your carrots, you add your liver, you blend. Then make sure every day your child get a fruit.
Just to clarify, before someone calls you out on social media and said, Linda said, at what age should we be giving the banku to the kids?
Let's say 7 to 8 months, yeah.
So please don't give your fresh baby banku. Linda didn't say that.
From 0 to 6 months, exclusive breastfeeding. Yeah. So from 6 months and above is the complementary food. It's very hard for the kids to take in the banku and stuff. So you need to blend and then.
But then let me do Mr. Gate the honor of taking first dips when it comes to final words. Mr. Gate, we are wrapping up. What are your final words?
Okay, thank you very much. Before I get to my final word, I want to come back to the reaction that some of the children reacting to the vaccine. Yes. And the most important thing that I want to let all health staff know is that anytime a child reacts to the vaccine, whether it's fever or headache or whatever, it should be recorded. There's a form called EFI form. It should be recorded and sent to the next level. You know, we are still trying to know more, understand the vaccines we are giving out more. And so all of these things should be investigated. So technically, final word, you've mentioned several times for us to keep our environment clean.
Yeah.
In fact, it's actually part of the minimum package for the Child Health Promotion Week. We educate caregivers to ensure that they keep their environment clean, to minimize contact with disease-causing agents.
Right.
And then that is very, very important. And
Right.
then when we come back to the nutrition too, practically our setup is difficult to distinguish or make different the child's food and the rest of the family food, except when the child is around age 1 below and so on. So what we advocate is that the family should try as much as possible to improve the food they take in, because after the child is 2 years, people stop preparing their own food. The children improves.
Right.
And for my final word, the theme for the African Vaccination Week, just like Linda said, immunization for all is better, is humanly possible. And so we, the health staff, are doing whatever we can to ensure that the vaccines get to the individual. And then it is our objective to vaccinate every child. And this one to bring back to the Child Health Promotion Week that says every child deserves a healthy future. Doing whatever we can preventable disease. All vaccine preventable diseases are communicable diseases. Right. And every communicable disease can be eliminated because they are caused by specific causative agents, which we can do away with. So I thank you very much for bringing me on board. And I wish that those that have listened to these discussions will try and at least do more than 50% of what they've heard, and also inform their friends who did not get the opportunity to listen to this program. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Charles Bonigate. He is the head of Disease Control Unit at Kia. Thank you very much for joining us. Linda, your final words, and then tell us about the freebies happening today.
Okay, so my final words is antenatal, postnatal, and child welfare clinic should be very, very important to all mothers, especially parents. So when a mother gets pregnant, you need to visit the health facility.
At what point?
The moment you get to find out you are pregnant, because there are series of tests they perform on the mother to get to know if your child is transmitting that kind of, because I think this week I was so much in pain when a 2-year-old child was diagnosed of HIV because of the
we gossiped about it.
Negligence of the mother. So when you give birth, when you are pregnant, you are supposed to go for ANC. They give you vaccination. The vaccination starts at ANC. They give you tetanus injection. They give you the SP that will prevent you from getting malaria and infections. When you give birth, they give the child some vaccination at birth. When you are a mom and then a newly mother and then you have hepatitis B, don't be in the house. They have vaccines they will give to the child.
But I know we are running out of time, but this gossip we're gossiping that has come on air about the 2-year-old testing positive for HIV because the mom had HIV that she wasn't aware of. In that situation, you've mentioned some vaccinations that could prevent some diseases. But what vaccine can prevent is there a vaccine?
No, there is no vaccines in preventing HIV.
No, but preventing the mother from transferring it.
When they are pregnant, to minimize the mother-to-child transfer.
Okay. So my final words. It's important for you to go to the hospital. And you said something about free treated nets.
Yeah, so today, the minimum package of the intervention for the child vaccination week, we have the vitamin A supplementation, the growth